Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with Lilli, where we smash limiting patterns. Hey, Randy, good morning. So today, a little bit about people pleasing and maybe see how it goes. Drop a comment if you have a question about people pleasing. This is all live, so I'll do my best to address. Is people pleasing an epidemic? Let's just say that right there. I think in this generation, and maybe the generation, I'm bad with all the names, but like the generation I was born, should I say this? Let's just say like the past kind of 2 or 3 generations we've really found ourselves outside of ourselves, outside of our body, outside driven, outside focused. And that has really caused a lot of internal anxiety, internal thoughts, a lot of maybe internal hurt and internal pain, because that we have been so, a lot of our energies, I feel like, have been so outwardly focused. And it could be anywhere, anything from the way we look to the way we perceive, we were perceived, to the way that we feel accepted in society. We feel accepted, in our jobs and in our career. When I was growing up, there was a very specific line that I was supposed to walk, like have a family, get a job, get a good degree, and then everything will be happy and fine. And what that, along with some developmental trauma, developmental wounds that were formed during early childhood, what that ended up turning into was a state of being that was kind of outside of myself. And it really turned into this massive people-pleasing pattern that I had to heal, that I had to understand, and that I had to start to refocus and rewire on those. It was instinctual. Let me just say that too. So if you're finding yourself in this pattern where it's very hard for you to not focus on other people first, focus on yourself first, and the others focus, like the outward energy is that's your first kind of step, is that pattern can be very, very ingrained in us. It starts at a point of normally young age, or a point of maybe something happened, and maybe there was a lot of bullying that happened to you. So you had to be very alert and very aware of other people. And, obviously it's, it's a longer conversation than that, but just, like very surface level, like that people-pleasing pattern can be very insidious. And it can be frustrating sometimes when we become aware of it. And it's very frustrating because it is kind of the wounded parts of ourselves showing face if we're leading with that. And I get it. Like, it took me decades, to rewire this pattern. And not to say that that is the case for you. In fact, why I'm here is that to make it quicker, right? Like to shine a little bit of light, shine a little bit of awareness on that that people-pleasing pattern can be repatterned to self, and not in a selfish way, but in a way where you can lead with self and then help others if you want to. That's the thing. So I was having a conversation a couple days ago. And it came up that asking for what we need, if we are in this people-pleasing pattern, or if people awareness outwardly focused pattern, how hard it is for us to ask for what we need. There may be a part of us that says that asking for what we need is scary because we've been hurt in the past, because whatever that we're asking for, we have been denied before, because we have been ridiculed, because we have, think about your experience of asking for our needs. And when we ask for our needs, it's not like, hey, can you bring me a pizza? It's normally from a very pure perspective, especially around this time where this kind of wounding may have been received. Asking for our needs is like on a heart level, open-hearted, straight from our soul. And basically, for most people, I would love for you to explore this for yourself, whoever's watching this. And you, Randy, thanks for hanging. Is most of the time what we're asking for, what we need, is is a soul quenching ask. Like, to be heard. Hey, I really just need you to hear me. To be understood. To be cherished. To be nurtured. All of that. Like, to be loved. To experience this joy or experience this heartache with me right now. Not try to fix me. Not try to look at me as a project. Not try to judge me, right? And if this happens, especially when in our developmental years, if we try, and sometimes, like for me, I don't completely remember this, but I do think this is true, is I think that I asked for things that I needed to live. Like food, for example. Like I was hungry when I was younger, or I needed my mom's nurturance. And not to say, let me just say that when I talk about this, if this is triggering to you, because I guess I personally just got a little bit triggered, and so this is why I'm saying this, and I'm being completely honest and vulnerable here, is that this is my experience. This is not any blame or shame that I am submitting on anyone. And part of healing is bringing forth your agency of choice and knowing that your experience matters so much in your healing. People pleasing in its finest, right? And you just witnessed that. And I hope that my vulnerability is also healing to you. But so there have been times maybe that really things that you really needed to survive, like literally and figuratively, were not provided for. And so what that does is it turns us into kind of a machine of being very aware of what other people need in an effort to get what we need. And so when we come to a point in adulthood where we have needs, where we are taken care of, we have roofs over our head, hopefully, we have, water to drink, we can provide our own food, we can provide our own sustenance, that doesn't need to be provided for anymore. And we have really deep desires of connection, of love, of those things that I mentioned before, of being heard and being seen and cherished and nurtured within other people. We don't have that skill to ask for what we need because we have been people-pleasing. That's been a pattern for us for a while. So how does that sit with you? I want to reassure you that this is a skill that can be learned. It is not something that you don't have. First of all, we all deserve love. Every single one of us has a voice and a heart that needs to be heard and seen and loved and cherished and all of that stuff. Whatever the feel good words for you for that is. I want you to know that that's possible, and everyone deserves that. You're not too broken. You're not unfixable. You're not too old. You're not too young. We all deserve this, and we all can have this. Like I said, people pleasing is a pretty massive epidemic right now, I feel like, especially with social media. It can get very insidious. But what I want to assure you is that this is a skill that can be developed. Asking for what you need may be scary right now because that you have been so others focused out of necessity for a long time. But just like shooting hoops and shooting basketball and learning how to play soccer or lift muscles at the gym or lift weights at the gym is a skill. This is a skill that can be learned, is asking for what you need so it's not so scary. So I hope that helps today. In big love. Thanks for hanging, Randy. Love you. We'll see you later. Bye.